The Amish, known for their simple and practical lifestyle, have perfected ingenious kitchen techniques that rely on age-old wisdom. These 30 tips will transform your cooking routine and leave you wondering why you didn't learn them sooner. Unlocking flavor with a mortar and pestle. To bring out the richest flavors from herbs and spices, the Amish turn to one of the oldest kitchen tools, the mortar and pestle. However, many don't realize that preparing it properly is essential. Begin by curing it. Grind some white rice and coarse sea salt together until the mixture runs clear. Repeat with fresh ingredients and a splash of water if needed. Once cured, the mortar and pestle are ready to unlock the natural oils of your herbs. Use circular motions with steady pressure to release vibrant, unmatched flavors that no electric grinder can replicate. Sometimes, simplicity reigns supreme. The egg freshness test. Wondering if those eggs in your fridge are still good? The Amish rely on a tried-and-true water test that's quick and effective. Fill a bowl with cold water and gently place the eggs inside. Fresh eggs sink and lie flat, while older ones float or stand upright due to expanding air pockets. No special gadgets, just water and a keen eye, are all you need to ensure breakfast is fresh and safe. Keeping herbs fresh longer. Tired of wilted herbs? The Amish have a simple solution. Treat them like flowers. Trim the stems, place them in a glass of water, and loosely cover the arrangement with a plastic bag to create a mini greenhouse. Change the water every few days and remove any wilted stems. This clever method extends the life of herbs like parsley, cilantro, and basil, while doubling as a beautiful kitchen display. Preserve cookie freshness with tissue paper. Fresh cookies don't stay that way for long if improperly stored, but the Amish have a trick up their sleeve. Line an airtight container with tissue paper, layer the cookies carefully, and place tissue paper between each layer. The tissue absorbs excess moisture, preserving that crisp, just-baked texture for days. Fixing bitter coffee with salt. When your coffee tastes more bitter than you'd like, the Amish have a quick fix. A pinch of salt. Stir a tiny amount into your brew to neutralize the bitterness. The salt counteracts unpleasant compounds, giving you a smoother cup without starting over. Just remember, less is more. Tenderizing tough meat with vinegar and broth. The Amish know how to turn tough cuts of meat into tender, flavorful masterpieces with a simple marinade. Combine equal parts vinegar and broth. Immerse the meat and let it rest in the fridge for several hours or overnight. The vinegar breaks down tough fibers, while the broth adds moisture and flavor. By the time it's cooked, your meat will be melt-in-your-mouth tender. Chop onions without tears. Avoid teary eyes while chopping onions by cutting them lengthwise instead of crosswise. The Amish swear by this method, as it minimizes the release of the compounds that cause irritation. A little adjustment can make your kitchen experience much more pleasant. The Amish, known for their resourcefulness and timeless kitchen practices, have developed simple yet brilliant techniques to elevate everyday cooking. These tips will revolutionize your culinary game and make your meals both delicious and efficient. Chop onions with fewer tears. Even the most seasoned Amish farmers admit onions can bring on the waterworks, but they've devised a clever method to minimize the sting. Begin by slicing off the root end and peeling away the skin. Instead of cutting the onion haphazardly, slice it lengthwise from root to stem. This technique keeps the root more intact, reducing the release of tear-inducing compounds. For an extra edge, chill your onions before chopping. Modern kitchens use refrigerators, but Amish households rely on their cool root cellars. While it won't make you entirely tear-free, this trick turns the experience into less of a cry fest and more of a satisfying prep session. Effortless egg peeling with salt and cold water. Struggling with hard-to-peel boiled eggs? The Amish have a foolproof solution: salt and cold water. Start by bringing your water to a rolling boil before gently adding the eggs. This helps prevent cracks. Once cooked, transfer the eggs to a bowl of cold water and stir in a teaspoon of salt. The salt causes the egg whites to slightly shrink. creating a gap between the shell and the egg. After a few minutes, lightly tap the eggs, and the shells will practically fall off. This trick also works double duty if you add salt to the boiling water, preventing cracks from the start. The secret to perfect soups and stews: Amish kitchens favor the gentle simmer over an aggressive boil when preparing soups and stews. While boiling may seem quicker, it toughens meat and reduces vegetables to mush. Instead, use low heat to slowly coax out deep flavors. Skim off foam or impurities with a ladle for a clear, rich broth. For stocks, patience is key. Let it simmer for hours, and you'll create a base any Amish grandmother would applaud. Balancing tomato acidity with sugar. Overly acidic tomato dishes can be a challenge, but Amish cooks have a simple fix. A pinch of sugar. Whether it's spaghetti sauce or chili, a sprinkle of sugar smooths out sharp flavors without making the dish sweet. For added richness, some Amish cooks include a small pat of butter alongside the sugar. Start with small amounts, tasting as you go, to achieve a balanced and harmonious flavor. Bacon grease, the Amish kitchen's secret weapon. One of the best-kept secrets of Amish cooking is bacon grease, a versatile ingredient that elevates savory dishes. After frying bacon, let the grease cool and store it in a jar. While modern cooks refrigerate it, Amish households often keep it in a cool kitchen corner for easy access. Use bacon grease for frying eggs, sautéing potatoes, or greasing skillets for cornbread. Its smoky, savory flavor transforms simple dishes into unforgettable creations. Keep greens crisp with a damp paper towel. To extend the life of fresh salad greens, Amish cooks use a simple trick: a damp paper towel. Wash and dry your greens thoroughly, then place them in an airtight container with a slightly damp paper towel on top. This creates the perfect environment, humid enough to keep the greens crisp without making them soggy. Replace the paper towel every few days, and your lettuce and herbs will stay fresh much longer. Mayonnaise for the fluffiest, scrambled eggs. Ever wonder why breakfast at an Amish farmhouse feels like dining at a gourmet restaurant? The secret to their impossibly soft, fluffy scrambled eggs lies in an unexpected ingredient: mayonnaise. Before you dismiss the idea, give it a try. By whisking a spoonful of mayo into the eggs before cooking, you're introducing a level of creaminess that takes your breakfast to the next level. The fat in the mayo works wonders. It prevents the eggs from drying out while adding a velvety richness that butter just can't achieve on its own. This simple trick has been a breakfast game-changer in Amish kitchens for generations. Long before fancy brunches became trendy, whisk, cook, and serve up a plate of eggs so dreamy, they'll make every morning feel like a special occasion. Sugar-coated bakeware for a caramelized touch. Think flour is your only option for greasing baking pans. The Amish have a sweet alternative that doubles as a flavor enhancer: sugar. Instead of dusting your greased pans with flour, try sprinkling them with sugar. As your baked goods cook, the sugar melts and caramelizes, forming a crisp golden crust around your cakes, cookies, or sweetbreads. It's the kind of subtle magic that transforms ordinary desserts into unforgettable ones. This method is as simple as it sounds. Grease your pan, coat it with sugar, and tap out any excess. Unlike flour, which can leave a chalky residue, sugar creates a delightful crunch and a touch of extra sweetness. Your baked treats will not only look beautiful, but also have an irresistible caramelized edge that everyone will rave about. Toast your spices for deeper flavors. The secret to the unforgettable depth of Amish dishes often lies in their use of spices. Before adding spices to a dish, Amish cooks take a moment to toast them. This simple step transforms the flavor profile of any dish. Heat a dry skillet, toss in your whole or ground spices, and stir them for just a minute or two. As they warm up, their essential oils are released, filling your kitchen with a rich, enticing aroma. Keep them moving to avoid burning. The goal is a light toast, not a scorched mess. Whether you're using cinnamon, cumin, or nutmeg, this quick technique enhances their complexity, elevating your dish from good to exceptional. Juicy burgers with ice cube magic. For the juiciest burgers you've ever grilled, try this ingenious trick. Press a small ice cube into the center of each patty before cooking. Though not a traditional Amish method, it's a practical hack that aligns with their resourceful cooking philosophy. As the burgers cook, the ice melts slowly, releasing moisture into the meat and keeping it tender and juicy. By the time your burger is done, the ice cube will have completely disappeared, leaving behind perfectly moist patties. This method prevents the dreaded dry, overcooked burgers that can plague backyard barbecues. Give it a try, and your burgers will rival the best restaurant offerings. Pickle juice, the secret to better potato salad. If your potato salad feels like it's missing that extra kick, the answer might already be in your fridge. Pickle juice. A splash of tangy brine can elevate your potato salad, adding brightness and depth that salt and vinegar just can't match. Amish cooks often use this trick to add a subtle zing to their salads, ensuring every bite is flavorful and balanced. Simply mix a bit of pickle juice into your dressing before tossing it with your potatoes. The result? A salad that's vibrant, well-rounded, and far from ordinary. Bonus: it's a great way to use up the last of your pickle jars. Transform your potato salad from ordinary to unforgettable with this tangy Amish trick. Pickle juice. Instead of tossing out that flavorful brine once the pickles are gone, save it for your next batch of potato salad. A splash of pickle juice adds a bright zing that enhances every other ingredient, while its salty tang perfectly complements the creamy mayonnaise base. This resourceful hack, rooted in Amish kitchens, balances richness and ensures each bite bursts with flavor. Start with a small amount and taste as you go. Too much can overpower, but just the right splash will have your guests begging for the recipe. It's a little secret that makes all the difference, especially at summer picnics and family gatherings. Soak onions for milder flavor. Raw onions often come with a sharp bite, but Amish cooks have a simple remedy: a cold water bath. Slice your onions, then submerge them in a bowl of cold water for about 10 minutes. This process draws out the sulfur compounds responsible for the overpowering sharpness, leaving you with onions that are mellow and pleasant to eat. Perfect for salads, sandwiches, or fresh salsas. This trick maintains the onion's crunch while toning down its aggressive flavor. Once soaked, drain them well, pat them dry, and enjoy a subtle sweetness that lets other ingredients shine. Vodka for flaky pie crusts. The secret to a perfectly flaky pie crust isn't just in the technique, it's in the ingredients. Amish bakers, known for their pie-making prowess, sometimes turn to an unexpected addition: vodka. By replacing some of the water in your dough recipe with vodka, you prevent gluten from forming, keeping your crust tender instead of tough. Don't worry about your pie tasting like a cocktail. The alcohol evaporates during baking, leaving behind a beautifully flaky crust. It's a clever twist that ensures your pies look and taste like they came straight from a bakery. Egg yolk for velvety mashed potatoes. Want your mashed potatoes to steal the show at dinner? Add a fresh egg yolk while the potatoes are still steaming hot. This Amish trick creates a silky, velvety texture that butter alone can't achieve. The heat from the potatoes gently cooks the yolk as you stir, adding richness and a touch of elegance to the dish. It's a simple but transformative technique passed down through generations, proving that even the humblest ingredients can be elevated to extraordinary. Apple cider vinegar for beans. If beans leave you feeling bloated, Amish cooks have a practical solution: apple cider vinegar. Adding a tablespoon or two to your pot while cooking helps break down complex compounds in the beans, reducing digestive discomfort. But that's not all. The vinegar also enhances the beans' natural flavor, adding a subtle tang that elevates soups, stews, or chili. This dual-purpose trick combines flavor enhancement with digestive ease, making beans a joy to eat every time. Cast iron for perfect pancakes. Achieving golden, crispy-edged pancakes with a tender, fluffy center is an art form, and the secret weapon is a cast iron skillet. Amish cooks have long known that cast iron retains and distributes heat better than modern non-stick pans. Preheat the skillet evenly, add a swipe of butter or oil, and pour in your batter. The result? Pancakes with a perfect crust and rustic charm. A well-seasoned cast iron pan only gets better with age, making it an essential tool for breakfast perfection. Canning for year-round freshness. Want to savor summer's bounty through the winter? Amish families have perfected the art of home canning to preserve fruits and vegetables at their peak. The process begins with scrupulously clean jars and the freshest produce. Pack your jars carefully, leaving the right amount of headspace to ensure proper sealing. Whether you're preserving juicy peaches or crisp green beans, this time-honored tradition brings the flavors of warmer days to your table all year long. Water bath or pressure canning. Preserve like a pro. Whether you're using a water bath for high-acid foods like tomatoes and peaches, or a pressure canner for low-acid vegetables like green beans, precision is key. Amish families, known for their attention to detail, have relied on these methods for generations to keep their pantries stocked through the winter. Properly following processing times ensures your home-canned goods remain safe and delicious for a year or more. Each jar captures the peak flavor of fresh produce, preserving the essence of summer for even the coldest months. There's nothing quite like opening a jar of perfectly preserved peaches on a snowy January morning, a little taste of sunshine when you need it most. Salt-cured meats, a time-tested tradition. Long before refrigeration, salt was a trusted ally in preserving meat. Amish families mastered this age-old technique, which not only keeps meat fresh but also enhances its flavor. Generously coat beef, pork, or poultry with salt, then store it in wooden boxes or hang it in cool, dry cellars. The salt draws out moisture, creating an environment where bacteria can't thrive. Over time, the meat develops a unique texture and deep, savory flavors that modern methods simply can't replicate. Whether it's smoked meats or homemade jerky, this practice connects us to a rich culinary heritage, proving that traditional methods still have a place in today's kitchens. Honey-preserved fruit, nature's perfect pairing. Honey isn't just for sweetening your tea, it's also an incredible natural preservative. Amish communities have long used honey to preserve fruits like peaches and pears at the height of their ripeness. Simply coat the fruit in honey, seal it in clean jars, and let nature work its magic. Honey's antimicrobial properties prevent spoilage while forming a delicious syrup as it blends with the fruit's natural juices. This technique captures the essence of summer and offers a naturally sweet treat whenever you need it. Paper bags for ripening tomatoes. If your tomatoes are stubbornly green, a simple brown paper bag can speed up the ripening process. Place your tomatoes in a single layer inside the bag, fold it closed, and let them rest. The bag traps ethylene gas, a natural ripening hormone, while allowing air to circulate. Check your tomatoes daily to remove any that ripen or spoil. In just a few days, you'll have ripe, flavorful tomatoes ready to enjoy. This thrifty Amish hack is perfect for extending your harvest and ensuring no tomato goes to waste. Flour and oil for sticky dough. Wrestling with sticky dough can turn baking into a chore, but the Amish have a foolproof solution, the combination of flour and oil. Start by dusting your work surface with flour as usual, then lightly oil your palms before kneading. The flour prevents sticking to your countertop, while the oil keeps the dough from clinging to your hands. This simple trick makes bread making, pie crust rolling, and pizza dough stretching smoother and more enjoyable. Onion skins for golden broth. Instead of discarding onion skins, save them to create rich, flavorful broths. Collect onion peels along with other vegetable scraps in a jar, and when it's time to make broth, simmer them in water for a few hours. The skins add a golden hue and depth of flavor that elevate soups, stews, and gravies. Amish households have long practiced this waste not, want not approach, proving that even the humblest scraps can create something extraordinary. Soak rice for perfect results. For light, fluffy rice, soak the grains in water before cooking. This step, cherished in Amish kitchens, helps break down the rice's tough outer layer, reduces cooking time, and removes excess starch that can make rice sticky. Soak the rice for 30 minutes to an hour, then cook as usual. The result? Perfectly cooked rice with individual tender grains. ideal for any dish. Honey and apple cider vinegar for cough relief. When a persistent cough strikes, turn to a trusted Amish remedy, honey and apple cider vinegar. Mix a tablespoon of each into a glass of warm water for a natural solution. Honey soothes and coats the throat while acting as a natural antibacterial agent, and apple cider vinegar balances pH levels and helps thin mucus. Sip this mixture slowly throughout the day to experience its comforting, gentle effects. In Amish households, where natural remedies are valued, this combination has provided relief for generations.